Good evening. It was Plato that said that it is the punishment of wise men who refuse to participate in government that they are doomed to serve in a government ruled by lesser men. Tonight, for voters, I want to inform you about the value and the power behind your vote. For non-voters, maybe you take this information and you pass it on to someone else who maybe is less informed and indecisive about voting, so that way they can make an informed decision. Me personally, I'm a card-carrying voter. I've voted in multiple elections, and I've seen the effect that a vote and an election can have on a community. Tonight I'd like to talk to you about how your vote is the ultimate exercise of freedom, how your vote is an extension of your voice, and how your vote can incite change in our world. First of all, I'd like to talk to you about how your vote is synonymous with freedom. You can see here by the picture, voting is patriotic. Voting is one of the rights that was handed down to us by our forefathers. They fought to give it to us, and the men and women that serve in the military fight to defend it every single day. Here in the United States, we enjoy free elections. We decide what the laws are going to be. We decide the referendums. The elected representatives that represent us also decide that. We choose them. However, other countries don't enjoy the same freedoms. In 2013, Martha Gessen of the New York Times reported that there were citizens rioting in the streets of Moscow due to circulated reports that the Russian elections were rigged. As I said before, we here in America enjoy free elections. When you cast your vote, you not only empower the freedoms that we enjoy, but the benefit comes from the fact that you also empower the freedoms, or lack thereof, of other citizens of other countries like Russia, where they still can't vote in a legitimate election. We've talked about freedom. We've talked about how your vote is the ultimate exercise of it. Now I'd like to talk to you about how your vote is an extension of your voice. See this gentleman here? He's casting a vote. He's exercising his right to vote, and in extension, he's also voicing his opinion. By voicing your opinion, you help to drive social policy in our country. Take marijuana legislation, for example. The National Office of Drug Control Policy has reported that in over 23 states, the states have either voted to fully decriminalize or allow medical marijuana in their states. This is a voter-approved referendum. Now, this is in the face of the fact that marijuana currently faces a federal prohibitive ban. But due to the fact that the voters are driving social policy, it is allowed in over 23 states. The value of this is that it truly shows you the kind of power that your vote contains, and the benefit is that when you understand that power, you can use that power appropriately and make informed decisions, hopefully. So we've discussed how your vote is an extension of your voice, and finally tonight I'd like to discuss with you about how your vote can incite change in our world. These ladies right here fought for their vote, they fought for their voice, and they fought for their freedom. Throughout the mid-1800s and the early 20th century, I apologize. Throughout the mid-1800s and the early 20th century, they faced aggravation, irritation, and were forced to be denied by legislators in our country the right to vote. I read on the National Archives, our nation's National Archive website, about the struggle of these fine women. And I read that in the middle of their struggle, it was when the voters truly got behind their initiative and joined them in civil disobedience and civil protest that the legislators finally stopped sitting on their hands and they stopped sitting on their hands and really got into action to make the constitutional amendment to give the women the right to vote. The value of this is very, very obvious. Women have the right to vote today. The benefit is that in the future, by using our power, by using our voice, and by using our ultimate exercise of freedom, we can promote equality and freedoms in this world and in this nation that have not been known previously. In conclusion tonight, we've talked about freedom, we've talked about your voice, and we have talked about change. We've talked about how your vote influences all of them. I'd like to leave you with a message tonight. The people of this nation will forever be the embodiment of the constituency. Whether you're a voter or a non-voter, you are still a member of the constituency. Politicians, laws, things things like that, the names of those things, they get lost over time. But it is our influence that will truly live on forever.